Hi.
All right, hi. I am here, my second interview of this trip at Augmented World Expo with whom I know as Drax, or Bernhard Drax, who is the author of an amazing podcast called the Drax Files.
No, the Drax Files.
Drax Files?
Yeah, with Joe Yard. The Drax Files radio hour with Joe Yard, my co-host who runs 1920s Berlin and Second Life.
Which I have to say is, you guys do such an amazing job at keeping that interesting. It's it's really interesting and fun to listen to.
It's just the personality I'm born with. All the credits go to my parents.
So I want to kick things off and tell me what you've been here just for a few hours. What are your first impressions of the expo?
It's interesting because I was at SVVR, the Silicon Valley Virtual Reality Conference and Expo, just a few weeks ago, and it's a lot smaller. It was decidedly more, I guess, fan, consumer, gamer centric, and here it's it's more corporate. You can see it by the way also people present it and the use cases. It's very much targeted towards the corporate sector. I myself am a big fan of virtual worlds, and augmented reality is interesting. I think eventually it will merge, I guess, or the options. You see that with the Zeiss VR1, they have different demos. You have an augmented reality option, and you have a virtual reality, fully immersive option. So it's going to merge in the long run. My assessment is all interesting, but content is king, and I don't see the content that excites me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Wow.
And by content I mean people interacting with other people and creating together. And I don't see that. I don't see people creating together. I don't see in those spaces. And maybe that's not what augmented reality is supposed to do, but I think it could.
Okay.
When I talk about augmented reality, I envision a hologram like John over here is actually at home in Canada, but he's also here with me, and we can build together on the table. We can build a molecule or a house or something like that, and then we can invite someone in and sit down and play. Actually, I did see that with Cast AR. I just interviewed Jerry Ellsworth from Cast AR, and that's their focus of interacting. They have a tabletop solution of AR. People sit there, they see the outside world, but they have a virtual tabletop game that they interact with. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Excellent. So talk to me a little bit more, since I consider you to be sort of a virtual world expert.
Yes.
And we all know, Second Life.
We all know that I am that person.
Yes, you are that person. So tell me a little bit about other kind of, SL is still a huge player. I know that, but tell me more
Second
about.
Life is the biggest player, and Second Life is the most vibrant space, and it's completely under the radar. And I attribute that to one thing only, which is the inability for the press to keep reporting on a sustained story. Everybody's running after the next new thing. Everybody is what's the next thing? What's the next thing? They forget to actually report about stories that are super compelling. But I'm not in that business, so who am I?
Well, that's a great segue, because the next newest and greatest thing is one of which I think is High Fidelity, right? People are talking about it.
Yep.
So I'd love to get your take on it. What do you think?
Linden Lab is investing in High Fidelity. Linden Lab is also building their own virtual world. I want to talk about that next if I get the opportunity. High Fidelity, I've been in there since the very beginning. It's an interesting concept. There's tons of demos out there. There is demos where Philip Rosedale shows a near zero latency with facial tracking, and you can use the the 6th Sense STEM controllers, so you can manipulate objects. You can play air hockey. You have the leap motion is integrated and all that kind of stuff. It works out of the box. Says he. It doesn't. It's at a stage where they're in alpha, and it's interesting where he wants to go. But for me, who is interested in people and interaction and enabling it and making it easy, it's not there at all. It's not there, and I don't actually see how they will make it easier. People complain about Second Life having a difficult interface, and I know it's in alpha, but people have said this, that Second Life in alpha was way easier than High Fidelity is.
I agree with that.
I have great respect for Philip, and I have all the best to him, and I'm sure they're going to be a major player. I'm just saying that right now, for me, and it's not designed for me right now as a consumer, obviously, because it's an alpha, but if you ask me for my assessment, it's totally compelling. Also, the concept that I can run it on my own machine, that is actually pretty cool, I have to say. I can set up a server, a sim, an island like that, and then it runs on my machine, and I host it, and people can visit me. So that is pretty cool. But other than that, there's not much to say. There's not much to report.
And you want to talk about SL2?
Yeah, what I've seen is very compelling, and I've seen a little bit. I cannot talk about it, but what I get the sense from the current leadership at Lindenlab that they know exactly what the magic sauce, or not exactly, but they know better than anyone previously at the helm at Lindenlab what the magic sauce is of Second Life, and they are really determined to take this magic sauce and replicate it and eliminate all the technical issues with the new project, which is called Project Sansar. I have no doubt in my mind. They have a great leader, the new CEO. They have a great team. They could use more people who work in the community management space, for sure. But maybe that's down the line. But you know, Lindenlab is a major player. There's nobody else who has the expertise managing a multi-million-dollar virtual economy. There's nobody out there. Nobody has. Some people have tried it, even Facebook. Everybody failed. They still manage an economy upwards of $600 million US user-to-user transactions. And so, yeah, that's that. And High Fidelity, one more thing. I will be giving a tour on Monday, I think, or Tuesday, and I'm really excited about that. But what's interesting is that Lindenlab is investing in High Fidelity. So my question, I don't know, I don't have any inside information, but my question is, are they gonna, people have speculated about that. Is it gonna be merging? Is it gonna be then the metaverse? Or what are they doing differently? Are they serving different markets? What is the strategy between these two entities in terms of dividing up the market? Those things I have no information, but it's always fun to speculate.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
You're welcome. I now have to go to my